Edgar here. I'm going to do another review on, of course, one of my favorite types of guns, which is a Smith and Wesson. This is a Smith and Wesson 6904. They come in 6904s, which is the blued, and the 6906, which has the stainless slides. They're both a moderately light handgun. This actually is an alloy frame. It's an aluminum type frame for the portion of it. It's not a poly gun like some of them. However, even so, it's pretty light, which is really a nice firearm. It comes with a 12 round magazine, double stack, so a fair amount of firepower with it. I know some guys like the 15s and all, but when you talk about a handgun that is considered a compact handgun, 12 rounds is really going to be pretty good. I'll show you that. In fact, it is. Yes, it is empty, and it is a double action, single action. Now, here's one. You'll notice, by the way, that the hammer is bobbed on these, so it's going to be flush at that point. Double action. When you're firing double action, the trigger really isn't bad. It's I'd say somewhere in the middle on double action triggers. I find it actually to be fairly easy to fire in double action. Sights are pretty easy to pick up. You get the 3-dot sights, the adjustable rear sight. The front sight is a dovetailed sight, so you could drift these to adjust them a bit if you need to, but the rear sight is sufficiently adjustable for windage to be able to take up pretty much anything you would want to take up on it. It does have a decocker, which a lot of people are going to like. Let's do a decocker and bang, down she comes. And it is an ambidextrous decocker, ambidextrous safety. One of the things about firing this, now it's only about a 3.5 inch barrel, so it's a relatively short barrel. It's got pretty good sights, as I mentioned though, so you're able to acquire your target pretty well. I find that although with my little hands, the wider double stacks are a little difficult for me to handle, I actually find these grips to be pretty good for my smaller hands. And when I take this out to the range, I really find that I shoot it extremely well. And I find it maybe not as good as my 39 with the single stacks, but it's still actually a very pleasant firearm to shoot. Felt recoil is mild. And I found that I can shoot this just as accurately, even with the shorter sights, as when I shoot a 910 or a 915, one of the full size, or even my 59 Smith and Wesson, which is big. It's big and blocky, easy to shoot, felt recoil is mild. This is really not much worse. It's about the same. Any of you who've been watching my videos knows that I'm not a big felt recoil guy. I don't want to do the macho thing and go out and have my hand torn off and think that somehow that's being a tough guy. I'd rather be able to go out with a firearm that I can do 100, 150 rounds with it and walk back home, have a nice beer and a cigar, and talk about how much fun that was instead of nursing a busted hand. This firearm is really easy on your hands, very accurate. I find that I can shoot this extremely well, and the prices are actually pretty good. Now I know that the 6904s typically have been a little harder to find than the 6906s. Which seems odd because you would think the ones with the stainless slides would be more highly priced and grabbed up more, but in fact it seems to be the opposite on that. Prices on these, if you can get them in good and very good range, will be something probably a little over $300, but definitely under $400. Should be able to get them as a good bargain. And I have to say that if you can pick up something like this, one of these, either this or the 6906, you're going to be very happy with this firearm. I love mine. Of course, I'm kind of partial to Smith and Wessons anyway. But this is one of my funner Smith and Wessons, excluding my all-time favorite, which is my Model 39. Anyway, this is Edgar. Let me know what you think.